For Gardippy over to the 3699 Ranch. It's 7:30 Friday morning, August the 2nd, over to 3699 Ranch. Looks like it's going to be a busy day. We had some rain this week. Last night we had a 1 3/4 inch downpour. The lawns look a little weak, but it's a combination of not being fertilized and a dry July. Very nice for the growing though on the hot side. If you could get water to it. The second cut of hay's up, and then we haven't cut that down yet because the rain was forecasted this week. The mixed hay. Quick garden update for the month. Probably be a month and a half or 2 months before I do another one. The air tractor was out here spraying the corn yesterday morning or the day before. There's a farmer, he's got a skid of aggregates on. They're double cropping, the beans are up. So these are the Mexican sunflowers, which I had the idea of starting them inside, even though I don't like to start stuff inside. Here's one that hasn't popped yet. These are weeds that I thought were flowers. There's another flower. So I was going to start them indoors and then transplant them out here, and that would have foregoed the weeds, and I forgot to do that. And then I'm trying to harvest the seeds out of these, and it shouldn't be that hard. But I'm having trouble with maybe something. I'm gonna have to try again on the Mexican sunflowers. I should have a whole solid row of them there, you know, in my mind. But I was successful gardening. I have over here my onions drying out, but then I forgot to put the cover on last night, so we had that torrential downpour. I got caught with a lot of equipment out. I have the corn's been tore out and thrown away, all the tear out, and I have over 2 dozen of these in the freezer. The sandwich bags. The cherry bombs are fabulous. I get a real kick out of those. That's my heat. And then my tomatoes, the Parks Whoppers. Perfect sandwich size. Excellent table fare. And here's a couple kind of junky, or a lot junky, peppers turning colors. The first one's on the vine here, August the 1st or 2nd. Drying onions, consuming onions. Let's weigh some onions. I have the shape of onion that I want. This one's damn near breaking a pound. But you can just, they're all approaching a pound. Already weighed that one. I'm trying to figure out, that one's over a pound. Oh, just even closer to a pound. But do have the flat shape where you grow them high. There's a nice little one for a single guy. Put them on my, cut them up, mix them up for the broths mixed with the pepper. That's a nice shape one. Anyway, it's kind of oblong looking. And turn that guy off. Yeah. How am I going to do this? Excuse me. But you don't want a double center. If you buy a onion in a store and it has a double center, you bought a piece of junk and paid full price, I assume. And I grew them from sets, so that's the junkiest way to do it. How does that go? You don't overwinter them. No, you just put them in early. I bought those $5 worth of onion sets. That one has a bad center in it. And I'm gonna call them layers. They're a little thick on that one. Now here's a thinner one with a It was approaching a double center. Kind of two different stories there, isn't it? You get a lot of junky onions from that. Well, you even get them too, growing them from transplants. I've never grown them from seed before. But this tells the story. See, this one's all over the place. If you bought that in a store, you got ripped off. That's why, a lot of why they smell so sweet. And then when you cut the bottom, it even gets more convoluted. The top will be the cleanest part when you cut it open. And see, the bottom has that pithy looking center and a wider looking ring with a thinner ring on top. But kind of a, what do they call that when they take bodies and try to figure out what happened to them? Diagnosis of an onion, the inner workings. So yeah, try again on the Mexican sunflowers. I got me a little curb pick piece there. There's poppies are all growed up in there. But I curb picked this guy and the pump was locked up. It's in there. And those pumps are 90 bucks and I managed to get one for 35 bucks off eBay. It was a scratch and dent, new in the box. And this is the old pump. But then the engine was surging. It starts on the first pull and it was surging. It was a low side. It had a plug jet. No, this one actually had a loose jet. I found the main jet had vibrated itself loose. And so I smoothed the engine out by removing the carburetor a couple times and some troubleshooting on that fueling. And I have an excellent running. They kept the tips and the parts are off a different one. In fact, that hose looks like it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to replace that. So I have 4 of these laying around, and so I sent a rock through the window, and with the lawnmower, it looked like a bullet hole in the center of my garage window. So I stopped by the Habitat Humanity. They didn't have the correct size so far, but I got a bag of mulch for $2. And then these, I burn through one of these or two a year here lately anyway. I'm trying not to use them so much. There's battery weed eaters. And I got this battery hedge. Sometimes I curb pick these guys. There's corded internal combustion. And this one's a battery. And I picked it up for $6. It works great. Kind of liking it. Getting used to that one. This is the string trimmer. Scored one of those for $4 at the Goodwill. And then Ohio has a tax exempt holiday. That one looks like it's maybe from Menards or something. It's just a little cheapo one. The kind I like, and they're really lightweight. Had to order some of those. It got hot, and I burnt some stuff up out here mowing. But the mowing hasn't been that intense because the dryness, and so that was nice. But I'm gonna double smoke a ham today. I still have the Easter ham that I got on clearance at 75 cents a pound, and I'm gonna double smoke me a ham butt out here with my cooking wood. But I picked all this off the curb. This hose, the chairs, the table, the umbrella, the smoker, the fence, the birdhouse, the backing thing. I just thought I'd go through that real quick. And the yeah, I left some equipment out here. It got rained on. Take a look at the garden, man. The Purple Martins have left. I only had 3 of them that were regulars. And they would be out here this time of day hunting bugs. The migration's on. I'm seeing for the birds. Complete tear out of the sweet corn. Teared out the onions. Tore out the trees. You know, here it is in all its glory. There's like 5 or 6, half a dozen tomato plants there, and a couple dozen pepper plants. planted that. I had 7 pumpkin seeds and planted them, and one germed. There it is. I transplanted it out there. I transplanted there's 7 hemlocks. I grew from seed. It'll be 2 years ago, and this year was a fail on the germ of my seed order, the $20. So those are actually, I have like, they're $4 or $5 trees right there to me. And I think the one on the left's a goner. They're looking wimpy. The transplant went horrible. The root ball broke up. I pulled them out of the ground. I put them in number 3 pots. They'll go back to the pond fall of 2025, potentially. Don't know what I'm going to do for trees. It's just the odds are too much. The pumpkin plant here, August the 2nd. It's the Atlantic one, the Atlantic Giant seed. It's in the stage now where I want to start burying vines. As soon as that dirt dries out, and if we have enough sun, it'll dry up this evening, and maybe double up on the fertilizer. See, it's kind of weak in the color. The cukes, I have more cukes I know what to do with. The refrigerator's still full. I don't remember if they're market more or straight 8s, but this one's the right table fair size. There's a bunch of them in there that are too big. It really doesn't have a sexy end on this end, but I have more pickles and I know what to do with. And you don't freeze those or anything, so you're the shelf life of them. I'm surprised the rhubarb's setting up at nice though. A beautiful corporation field out there, full of corn. Ready to plow down that annoying asparagus, and this all space taker upper. Just my small garden. I let towards the fence. The grass is pretty shaggy. My red beauty pepper has some beautiful green ones. I think there's 2 of them. Yeah. Well, not sure. I'm going for 4 lobes. The one up there on that table I showed turning red was a single lobe. I don't know what the malfunction was on that. Here's something turning red. I kind of wondered if I should have put the 10 pound of Epsom salt down. I have a leaf curl on this end of the peppers. I didn't have a leaf turn, but I do have some leaf curl action. Not really on the red beauty, and then it comes out of it, but loaded with bell peppers. Loaded with green bells waiting for, some of them are going to turn orange, but going for the red, the antioxidants. I have my curb picked little working area here. These are the cherry bombs, and that one's fallen over. I have 4 strings of the Florida Weave in the Mason line this year. Actually, this leaf here is turned. That's kind of the one out of all of them. Maybe even this one. But that Epsom salt gives it that good blocky, thick wall. Not sure. They didn't want to overdo the salt. These are just so fun. And then the table's full up there now, and then fill the table up and they turn red, and you peel them and put them in them sandwich bags and throw them in the freezer. And all that's ready to go. You dump a bag of the corn in the crock and some peppers and onions, and then your ham bone, and you plug the crock in. You do it at nighttime. Fill the crock up, put it in the refrigerator with all the garlic and everything in there, and then when you get up in the morning, you pull the crock out of the fridge because they remove from the heating element, and you put your crock and plug it in the morning, and then you come back at lunchtime and you have a bowl of meat and ham and beans and veggies, and crackers and cheese. You'd be eating like a king. This one strung up various methods and still getting away, and picking the red ones off as fast as we're getting them. But even though it's a small garden, I have way plenty room for what I'm doing. I'm managing my size and doing the tear out, keeping up on that. And yeah, that I was worried I didn't have enough of the cherry bombs, but I think there's half a dozen of them there, and I have to grow those from seed. I can't buy them in the store. Those are store bought, the bells, and I'll have enough supply of the heat there with the cherry bombs, and it's more than enough tomatoes for myself and my mom's this year. But I didn't have enough to give the neighbors so far, and I'm hoping to turn them on to some nice peppers like I always do, and onions. And have you grow your pumpkin out to 144 leaves, if I remember right, and then you start growing a pumpkin from them. You kind of prune them off, and then you maybe grow 3 pumpkins off of one plant, something to that effect. But yeah, probably won't. Well, this isn't my final garden video for 2024, but I'm not going to be back to the first of the month. I don't think so anyway. But here I am today in all its glory. It's been tore out and went into the next, and I'm just keeping it very small, and almost don't even have a garden, but I do have a garden. And it was an early garden versus late, and didn't get into your late cabbage and everything like that. You run into bugs and everything, and you can really get ahead of yourself on a garden in a blink of an eye. And yeah, I wish I would have had more purple martins out here this year. I'm not sure if it was, did we have a lack of bugs, so we had a lack of birds that eat the bugs, because I think we did have bugs, and the bugs came later. The timing was kind of interesting. I'm not sure. I haven't figured that one out yet, but I'm having a fabulous summer 2024 out to 3699 Ranch, Beauregard Rippey. Thanks for watching.